Something is wrong with you, and you know it. Not wrong in a bad way. Wrong in the way that tells you the person you have been is no longer the person you are supposed to be. There is a restlessness in your chest that no sleep can fix, a hunger that no food can touch. You scroll, you laugh, you keep moving, but in the quiet moments, when it is just you, something whispers that you are not where you are meant to be. You have been feeling this for a while now, and you have been calling it stress. You have been calling it overthinking. You have been calling it a phase. But what if it is not any of those things? What if Allah is trying to reach you right now? Through that exact feeling, the Sufi masters spent their entire lives studying one thing, not the stars, not the scriptures alone. They studied the heart. And what they found is this: when Allah decides to change a person, He does not send a lightning bolt. He does not appear in a dream. He sends a quiet, persistent ache, a feeling that the life you are living is slightly off, that something real is waiting for you just beyond where you are standing. That ache you feel, that is not a problem to solve. That is a door. And today, we are going to walk through it together. 7 signs that Allah is already changing your heart. And I promise you, by the time we reach the 7th, something inside you will shift. The first sign is that sin starts to feel heavy. Think about this carefully. There are things you used to do without a second thought: lying easily, wasting hours on things that meant nothing, talking badly about others, letting your prayers slip day after day. And you did all of this and you felt completely fine. No guilt, no weight, nothing. But at some point something changed. You did the same thing, and this time it landed differently. There was a tightness in your chest, a restlessness that followed you, a discomfort that refused to leave. You tried to ignore it, but it stayed. That feeling is not weakness. That feeling is your heart waking up. The Prophet, peace be upon him, told us that when a person commits a sin, a black dot appears on the heart. But when the heart is being purified, when Allah is turning it back toward Him, that same heart begins to feel the weight of every wrong action. The sensitivity returns. And that sensitivity is not a burden. It is a mercy. It is Allah protecting you from a version of yourself that you no longer need to be. The second sign is that you start craving silence. The world is designed to be loud, and most of us have trained ourselves to love the noise. We fill every empty moment with our phones, with music, with pointless conversations, with anything that keeps us from sitting alone with our own thoughts. Because sitting alone is uncomfortable. Because sitting alone means you have to face what is actually happening inside you. But when Allah begins changing your heart, something flips. Suddenly the noise irritates you. Suddenly you want to sit after Fajr and just be still. You want to make your wudu slowly. You want to hold your prayer beads and say nothing at all. Not because you are depressed, not because you have become antisocial, but because your soul is finally recognizing where its nourishment comes from. The great Sufi teachers say that the heart is like a mirror, and when you clean a mirror, you stop wanting mud near it. Your heart is being cleaned, and it is starting to know the difference between what feeds it and what poisons it. The third sign is that your tongue changes. Before, words came out easily. Gossip felt entertaining. Arguments felt satisfying. Complaining felt natural. Sarcasm felt like personality. But when Allah begins to change your heart, your tongue starts to slow down. You catch yourself before you say something unkind. You feel a quiet shame when you waste words on things that carry no weight. You start to notice how much destruction one careless sentence can leave behind. This is not you becoming boring. This is not you losing your edge. This is your inner state beginning to show on the outside. In Sufism, this is called hal, the spiritual condition of the heart that starts to express itself through the body without you even trying to make it happen. Your heart is cleaning up. and your tongue is the first place it shows. The fourth sign is that other people's pain starts to feel like your own. You hear about someone going through difficulty, and instead of moving on, you stop. Something in you stays with it. Maybe someone you barely know is struggling, and you find yourself making dua for them at 3 in the morning. Maybe you see injustice or poverty, and instead of looking away, something in your chest breaks open a little. This is called rahmah, divine mercy. And when Allah places it in a human heart, it is because He is preparing that person to carry something bigger, because you cannot truly serve Allah and feel nothing for His creation. These two things are not separate. They are the same movement. A heart opening to the pain of others is a heart that is simultaneously opening to something far greater than itself. The fifth sign is that you start genuinely wanting to forgive, not performing forgiveness, not saying the words because it is the right thing to say. The real thing, the actual release, the letting go without waiting for an apology that may never come. And this is where it gets remarkable. When Allah is changing your heart, you will think of someone who hurt you, someone you had every right to be angry at, and instead of feeling the fire, you will feel something softer, something that whispers. Maybe they were carrying their own pain. Maybe they did not know what they were doing. Maybe the best thing I can do is make dua for them and release this. This is not weakness. This is not you letting people walk over you. This is one of the highest stations the human heart can reach. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was described as someone whose heart held no grudges. None. And when your heart begins even the smallest movement in that direction, know that this movement is not coming from you alone. The sixth sign is that the world starts to feel smaller. You used to want certain things very badly. Status, approval, a specific version of success, recognition from people whose opinion you are not even sure matters to you. And you may still want some of these things. That is human. But the grip they have on you is loosening. The anxiety around them is quieting. When you lose something now, the grief does not crush you the way it once did. When you gain something now, the excitement fades faster than it used to. What is happening is that your heart is learning to hold the dunya loosely, not because you have given up on your life, not because you have become passive, but because something bigger is beginning to take up space inside you. The Sufis call this zud, not poverty, not abandoning the world, but detachment, the ability to be fully in the world without being owned by it. This is a sign that your heart's center of gravity is shifting from the temporary to the eternal. And the seventh sign, the one almost nobody talks about, the one that cuts the deepest. You start making dua for others more than you make dua for yourself. Sit with that for a moment. Because dua is the most intimate conversation a human being can have. It is you, alone, in the dark, speaking directly to the creator of everything that exists. And most of us, most of the time, use that conversation to ask for our own needs, our own problems, our own future, which is completely right and completely allowed. But when Allah is transforming your heart, something begins to change in that conversation. Names start appearing in your prayer. People you love, people who hurt you, people you have never even met, but whose pain you heard about and could not forget. You start carrying other people into your sujood. You start asking Allah for things for them, not just for yourself. And this, more than almost any other sign, is proof that your heart is becoming less about self and more about love. And love, pure and selfless love, is the language of the transformed heart. It is what the Sufi path has always pointed toward. Not rituals for the sake of rituals, not knowledge for the sake of knowledge, but a heart so full of love for Allah and for His creation that every breath becomes an act of worship. Now here is the truth I want to leave you with. These 7 signs are not about being perfect. You do not have to have all of them. You do not have to have them completely. Even the smallest flicker of any one of them is significant. because the Sufi tradition teaches us something that modern life forgets entirely. The recognition of the sign is itself the sign. Allah only lets you see the road if He intends for you to walk it. So if even one thing in this video landed somewhere real inside you, do not scroll past it. Do not go back to your day and bury it under noise. Sit with it tonight. Make a quiet dua. Just 2 sentences. Allah, if my heart is moving toward you, complete what you have begun, and if it is not, then move it. That is enough. That is more than enough, because a heart that is asking to be changed is already halfway there. May Allah purify all of our hearts. May He make us among those whose hearts are alive and awake, and may He make us among those who reach Him with a heart that is sound.